Now we begin studying about the harmful microorganisms. As we read that microorganisms are both friendly as well as harmful, and we have already read about the friendly microorganisms, we will now be reading about the harmful microorganisms. Microorganisms are harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganisms cause disease in human beings, plants and animals. Such disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Some microorganisms spoil food, clothing and shelter. So, microorganisms are harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganisms cause diseases in human beings, plants, and animals. They are called pathogens. Some microorganisms also spoil food, clothing, and leather. Disease-causing microorganisms in humans. Pathogens enter our body through the air, water, or food. They can also get transmitted by direct contact with an infected person. Microbial diseases that can spread from an infected person to a healthy person are called communicable diseases. For example, cholera, common cold, chickenpox, and tuberculosis. So we were reading about disease causing microorganisms in humans, which will be followed by disease causing microorganisms in plants. So basically, pathogens are the disease causing microorganisms and they enter the human body through air, water, or food. They can also get transmitted by direct contact with an infected person. Thus, if a human is infected by some microorganism and another person has a direct contact with that infected person, the microorganisms can be transmitted. So basically, the microbial diseases that can spread from an infected person to a healthy person are called communicable diseases. Related with the word communication, which means to interact with each other, and thus the diseases which can be spread from an infected person to a healthy person are called communicable diseases. For example, cholera, common cold, chickenpox, and tuberculosis. There are some insects and animals which act as carriers of disease causing microbes. So basically, we have few insects and animals. An insect looks like this, which act as the carriers of disease causing microorganisms. For example, the housefly. Pathogens stick to their bodies when they sit on garbage. When these flies sit on uncovered food, they transfer pathogens. So whenever the garbage is dumped in the open, pathogens, that are the disease-causing microorganisms, stick to the body of a fly. When these flies sit on the uncovered food kept in the food, they transfer the pathogens from the garbage to the food, thus harming the human who will consume the food. Anopheles mosquito. It carries the parasite of malaria, and female AIDS mosquito carries the dengue virus. So these were the some insects and animals which act as carriers of disease causing microbes, that is housefly, Anopheles mosquito, female AIDS mosquito. So this is a list of the diseases, their cause, their mode of transmission, and what are the preventive measures for such diseases. So we have tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox, polio. Tuberculosis is caused by bacteria, and rest all the three, that is measles, chickenpox and polio, are caused by virus. The mode of transmission, air, is common in all four of them, whereas chickenpox can be spread by contact also and polio can be spread by water also. The preventive measures in general for all the four diseases, that is tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox and polio, are keep the patient in complete isolation, that is they should be sitting alone and they should not have a direct contact with anything or anyone. Keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of the others. keep the personal belongings of the patient away, vaccination to be given at the suitable age. So basically all these diseases have their vaccination. When we read about antibodies and we read that the invention of chicken smallpox vaccination, so these vaccinations are given to a child at a suitable age to prevent it from such diseases, to prevent him or her from such diseases. Thus, vaccination of such diseases should be given at proper age. In case the person suffers from them, they should be kept in complete isolation and their personal belongings should be kept away from those of the others. Then we are talking about cholera and typhoid. Both of them are caused by bacteria. Water is the mode of transmission, but cholera can also be transferred by food. Their preventive measures in general are: maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Sanitary habits are the cleanliness habits you have. Consume properly cooked food and boiled drinking water. Properly cooked food and boiled drinking water, and obviously vaccination is very important. So when a person is suffering from cholera or typhoid, he or she must maintain the proper personal hygiene and cleanliness, should consume properly cooked food and should drink boiled water, and vaccination is obviously necessary for all the human diseases at proper age. Then we have hepatitis B. It is caused by virus. The mode of transmission is water. The preventive measure is drink boiled water and vaccination. So basically hepatitis B is a disease which is caused by virus and the mode of transmission is water. To prevent, the general preventive measures are we should drink boiled water and vaccination is very important. Then we have malaria. Malaria is caused by protozoa. Mode of transmission is mosquito. Use mosquito net and repellents. Spray insecticides and control breeding of mosquitoes by not allowing water to collect in the surroundings. So basically, malaria is caused by protozoa. The mode of transmission is mosquitoes. And obviously, if the mode of transmission is mosquitoes, preventive measures in general would be using mosquito net, repellents, insecticides should be sprayed, and the breeding of mosquitoes should be controlled, and water should not be collected in the surroundings, otherwise more mosquitoes will be present. So these were the few human diseases we talked about under the topic disease causing microorganisms in humans. Now we have disease causing microorganisms in animals and disease causing microorganisms in plants. Causing microorganisms in animals and disease causing microorganisms in plants. As we read about the disease causing microorganisms in humans and about the following human diseases, now we will be studying about disease causing microorganisms in animals and the disease causing microorganisms in plants. So anthrax is a dangerous human and cattle disease caused by a bacterium. Foot and mouth diseases of cattle is caused by a virus. So basically we have disease causing microorganisms in animals also. Anthrax is a dangerous human as well as a cattle disease and is caused by bacterium. Apart from this, foot and mouth diseases of cattle are caused by virus. In the case of plants, several microorganisms cause diseases in plants and the diseases reduce the yield of crops. They can be controlled by the use of chemicals which kill the microbes. So in case of the plants, there are many microorganisms which cause diseases and they reduce the yield of the crops. For controlling it, chemicals which kill such microbes can be used. So here we have the list of the diseases, plant diseases basically. So the first one is citrus canker. It is caused by bacteria. The mode of transmission is air, and this is how a plant suffering from citrus canker looks like. The second one is rust of wheat. It is caused by fungi. The mode of transmission is air. and seeds, and this is how a plant suffering from rust of wheat looks like. Then we have yellow bean, mosaic of bhindi, okra we call it. It is the microorganism behind it is virus. Mode of transmission is insect, and this is how a plant suffering from this disease looks like. So basically, we read about disease causing the harmful microorganisms. Under that, we learned that they are harmful for plants, animals, as well as humans. They spoil food, leather, and other things. Then we read particularly about disease causing microorganisms in human, and we read about the diseases. In the here, we learned about the disease causing microorganisms in animals and the disease causing microorganisms in plants. And we read about a few plant diseases. You need to remember the name of the disease and the microorganism which caused it. So, my friend, here's a situation under the topic. We are continuing the same topic of harmful microorganisms, and here comes the situation. My friend went to a party and ate a variety of foodstuff. On reaching home, he started vomiting and was taken to a hospital. The doctor said that it was food poisoning. How does a food becomes a poison? Many of you have heard of this word food poisoning. Generally, when you have continuously vomiting after eating something, the doctor said that you are suffering from food poisoning. So how does the food become a poison? Food poisoning is due to the consumption of food spoiled by some microorganisms. So basically it is due to the consumption of food that was already spoiled by some microorganisms. We know that microorganisms spoil food, and when such food is consumed, food poisoning is caused. Microorganisms that grow on our food sometimes produce toxic substances which makes the food poisonous. So obviously microorganisms grow on the food and they make it a toxic substance, and thus our food becomes poisonous. We consume it and we suffer from food poisoning. So can we prevent it and preserve our food? This is a big question. If microorganisms harm our food, so can we prevent it and preserve our food? So with this we come to the end of the topic of harmful microorganisms, but as this question has come here, we will be studying about food preservation in the next session. So this is just a small point to note. Microorganisms spoil our food. Spoiled food emits bad smell and has a bad taste and change color. We will be seeing some common methods to preserve food in our homes. So basically the next topic will be food preservation, and we will learn that when the food poisoning occurs, the food becomes poisonous. So how can we prevent our food from becoming poisonous?